Death Valley is beyond superlatives. Its vastness and starkness are difficult to describe, but its beauty is undeniable. In March of 2019, we decided to escape the cold winters of northern Utah and head down to Death Valley for a 6-day overlanding trip with several of our friends. After spending the night in Rhyolite, Nevada and gathering our crew, we opted to explore the town before entering the park. Fueled by visions of striking it rich in the gold mines of the Bullfrog Hills, miners flocked to the area in 1905. Despite its short life, Rhyolite was a thriving mining town with a peak population estimated at 5,000 people. The stock of the overvalued mine crashed in 1910, and out-of-work miners moved on as fast as they came, concluding the short life of Rhyolite, Nevada. Having left Utah during a spring snowstorm, we welcomed the warm temperatures and a chance to shed our layers. After a brief stop at the Furnace Creek Visitor Center, we headed into the park to check out some of the more popular attractions. Artist Palette Drive was beautiful and a perfect place to stop for lunch, but we are ready to air down and get off the pavement. Our camping spot for the night would be a few miles up Echo Canyon in a wide open space overlooking the valley below.
Take a ride with me.
We set up camp and settled for some refreshments in the shade as we watched the sunset over the Panamint Range.
We'll drive through the canyon, America's born again. Close your eyes and count to 10.
After a very windy night, which destroyed one of our group members' awnings, we headed further up Echo Canyon to check out Inyo Mine. The road is fairly well graded and can be completed by any crossover vehicle.
And in my dreams, I see you in a...
Nestled on the western slopes of the Funeral Range, Inyo Mine was settled at the same time as Rhyolite. It is the only mine on the western slopes that ever produced more than a modest amount of gold. It too is very well preserved and worth checking out if you're in the area.
No more glory years, kicking back and killing fears. Everything I need's right here. The road is open wide. We'll drive through the Badlands, the Great Plains and Midwest winds. Head through the Rocky Mountains.
After a brief stop for lunch, we headed south and began our way further west up Warm Springs Canyon.
Wake up to a Minnesota sun. And in my dream, I see you in a new way. In the beauty of America, I've already won. Whoa.
Exiting Warm Springs Canyon, we entered the expansive Butte Valley and found the geologist's cabin surprisingly unoccupied.
And it's okay to follow on God's highway. Wake up to a Carolina sun. And in my dreams, I see you in a...
The geologist's cabin is a popular backcountry camping spot and definitely worth checking out. The unofficial practice is to raise the American flag over the cabin when in use to let others know when it's occupied. The cabin has a fantastic view of striped Butte and Butte Valley below. The next morning, it was time to really test out the trailer as we headed up and over Mengel Pass.
We used to be so cute.
It was Patrick's first time truly off-roading, and it took him a little bit of time to find his lines.
From Tonka trucks to nukes, what happened to us? What happened to us since then? Your sins are myriad, so says our guy. Well,
Towing the trailer through technical terrain was definitely a new experience and was something that took some getting used to.
why did you make so many of us? Why did you make so many? If you knew your chisel was blunt, why did you make so many of us? Why did you make so many? Was it you who made the shape up in the garden, Lord? Was it you who set the stake up which we're climbing now? Your sins are myriad, so says our God. Well, God, if you're serious, you botched the job. If you knew your chisel was blunt, why did you make so?
Brandon's Beast of the Tacoma had no problem navigating the terrain.
Your chisel was blunt, why did you make so many of us? Why did you make so many? Baby, better get your tools. Got a lot of work to do. Baby, better get your tools. Got a lot of work to do. Baby, better get your tools. Got a lot of work to do. Baby, better get your tools. Got a lot of work to do. If you knew your chisel was blunt, why did you make so many of us? Why did you?
I, on the other hand, struggled a little bit with this steep, technical terrain towing the trailer. The Forerunner, though, as usual, pulled us through without any problems.
Your chisel was blunt. Why did you make so many of us? Why did you make so many? If you knew your chisel was blunt, why did you make so many?
We snapped a few photos at the top of Mengel Pass before beginning our descent down the western slopes.
Diving in while the current's fast.
That's Patrick.
Gotta leave the past. It's in the past. Yeah, I won't look back.
I decided to get a little bit cute heading down the backside of Mengel Pass and got pinched trying to navigate a tight chicane with the trailer.
If we don't look back, what does it take to leave it all behind? We'll see it happen one step at a time.
Just that corner again. So it should be fine. I mean, it is hard, but I'm just going to put these here just to cover it over.
The trailer rocker panels served their purpose, and after a few more Austin Powers turns, we managed to clear the obstacle.
I don't know what you're gonna do here though, hun. You're right on this huge rock.
Before descending Goler Wash, we stopped for lunch at the Barker Ranch, which is the site where the Charles Manson family was captured in 1969. The majority of the house burned down in 2009 though many of the walls and foundation are still left standing, and it's still pretty cool to check out what's left of the house.
The smallest change can make you feel alive. Here we go. Never slowing down, darling. Here we go. Get lost until we're found, darling. Here we go. What does it take to feel this alive? Every day we're gonna try. What does it take to feel this alive? Chase down our fears till they're forced to hide. What does it take to feel this alive? Every day we're gonna
We exited Goler Wash into Panamint Valley. Above us, fighter jets frequently raced across the sky in simulated dogfights. After a brief stop in Ballarat Ghost Town, we continued our way north to Panamint Springs, where we refueled before heading to our campsite for the night at Panamint Dunes.
I wanna see the world.
The next morning, Brandon broke out a scuttle and we shared a group meal cooked on this traditional African wok. After Caden made his debut at photographer, we broke camp and continued east over the Panamint Range. On the docket for the day was Ubehebe Crater, Tea Kettle Junction, Racetrack Playa, before descending the infamous Lippincott Pass. Ubehebe Crater and Racetrack Playa were uncomfortably windy, and we only made brief stops at these beautiful locations.
I wanna wake my soul. Climb the highest.
The ranger very strongly recommended against taking a trailer down Lippincott Pass. However, I had done a fair amount of research on the pass, and I felt that it was both possible and safe if I took my time.
I wanna find my love, lose myself in passion. I wanna love her in my heart and never come back again. I wanna see the end of a world that's rounded. I wanna know what it feels like to never come back again.
While the washboard roads in Saline Valley weren't quite as severe as those heading to Racetrack Playa, we still suffered a tire casualty. Camp for the night was at the clothing-optional Warm Springs campground.
I wanna ease my mind of all the doubt that
The next morning, pressed for time and needing to be back in Utah by that evening, we left camp early and headed up and over Steel Pass and Dedeckera Canyon.
wanna see those stars shining down from heaven.
Heading up Steel Pass, I briefly became hung up on a large rock. A high lift jack and a well-placed boulder would be all that was needed to free us. We continued on over Steel Pass and then began our descent down Dedeckera Canyon. Descending the 3 ledges of Dedeckera Canyon was actually quite fun. Ascending them with the trailer might prove to be a different story, although I think the 4Runner could do it.
Ooh, thanks.
We wrapped up our trip at Eureka Dunes, completing what I call the Grand Slam Tour of Death Valley, with over 350 miles of travel, over 25,000 feet of elevation gain, and crossing the Panamint Range 4 times. Death Valley is an incredible landscape, and I highly recommend taking the time to explore this area to anyone interested in overland travel.